Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans in Crisis podcast. Today we have Gary Bell. Gary is the coordinator for Project Nova in Northumbria, but he's also an RAF veteran. All right, Gary.
Yes, not bad, Joe. Thank you.
How's it going today?
It's good. I'm actually on holiday today. That much I love you. That's so much.
Oh, I tell you what, mate. If you're prepared to do this on holiday, man, that's commitment. It's commitment.
Well, we got the gyms after this for his little.
No, it's a shame that, isn't it? It's a shame that now it's what's happened with COVID. Like, I couldn't have a big opening.
Yeah, it's a shame, but we'll go down and wish him well.
So, this show is for veterans. Obviously, veterans covers the RAF as well. So that's why we've let you on.
I don't really class myself as a veteran. I would say ex-serviceman, but.
Well, you're in now, mate. You're in now.
Do
you want to tell a little bit about your childhood and that, and why you wanted to join the RAF and that?
Well, I was born in '63 and I left school in '79. Obviously, I'm from Wallsend. You can tell I'm a Geordie, and like everything else,
it's like Steve Bruce, eh?
At the time, there was only the shipyards or the pits to go into really when I left school, and my mum didn't fancy us going in the either. And I'd always had an inkling to go in the. My dad was a Royal Engineer, and I didn't fancy the army, but I fancied the Navy or the Royal Air Force. And when I went to the RAF careers office in Newcastle, the bloke said I could go to RAF Cosford, where the indoor run track was in, because I was quite fit there. I played a lot of rugby, and that was the clincher, the deal. So I said, I'll join up then.
Was it your dad who said not to join the army, like, and to join the RAF? Because that's what I would probably recommend to people if they want an easy life, like, to be honest.
That was my dad. My dad said, if you want tablecloths and nice bedding and all that, and yes.
Butlers, aye. And to be quite honest, if you look at the stats of the clients that we help, obviously the RAF must have been the best, because we only have one or two. Well, we have hundreds army.
Yeah.
So it just shows you. So you joined when you were 16?
Yeah, 16 and a half. Yeah, 16, aye.
And what was that like, leaving home and that?
Well, it must have been bad for your mum, because the only child, so I think your mother was distraught. My dad was happy because obviously I'm obviously football team yourself, but I did go and watch the black and whites, and I did used to get myself in a few scrapes. So with the police and that, so I think my dad was relieved that I was getting away from home and maybe going to sort myself out a little bit.
Yeah, there's no matter with fighting at football matches other than it being illegal.
But
Go on, mate.
So my dad was like, really, when I had to go home and get my form signed because I was a minor, my mum was obviously didn't want us to join until I was like 9. She wanted to just be like 19, 20 before I joined. But I think my dad saw that there wasn't many options for us, and he was happy to sign, so I went off and loved it. Loved it from the day I went there. It was just like being at school, really.
All right. Did you take the training straight away, or were you a bit homesick?
No, I wasn't really homesick. I nearly got locked up because I went to Newark for a drink one night, and the RAF police came in the pub, and I was only like 16 and a half, so they took us to the guard room and said, you're going to be kicked out of the RAF, and I thought, great, I'm going back home. But obviously it was just a fright, and I just spent a couple of hours in the cells and then I was out.
Right. So, from my knowledge, you do about 6 to 10 weeks or something basic, and then you go and do like a trade or something, is that right?
Yeah. I would do like 6 to 10 weeks I think it was 6 weeks then trying to be at RAF Swin to be trying to be like a soldier, learning how to march allegedly and fire a weapon and all that. And I had to go live in a tent or something. But
a tent.
I was quite lucky. I was good at rugby. So I scored a try, I think, on the second Wednesday I was there on sports afternoon. So I didn't have to do, well, after that, I sort of went off to look after the RAF coach and all that rugby. So And when I went to Cosford, that was a year. My training was a year. So I played a lot of rugby there as well.
What was your trade that you went for like?
They're called different things, but I was called a communications systems analyst, which sounds grand. In the army, it's a special telegraphist. And
In City Street, you just answer the telephone.
I did at some points, and I think the Navy it's called a CT or something like that.
Aye. So did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was really good. I had to use your mind quite a bit because you were like detecting Soviet. Most of my time was spent working with detecting Soviet submarines.
Oh, right, aye. Well, that'd been interesting, aye.
Yeah, so like the Nimrods would go up and they would put soda buoys in the sea, obviously, and then they would get a signal off the submarine, its propeller shaft. And in them days, it was all paper, it wasn't computers, and we would then use oscilloscopes and try and work out the signature of the submarine and then identify it.
You must have had brains for that, mate.
I did get my brains later on after I left school. That's one good thing about the RAF. It did give us an education.
Aye. I learned more after I left school than when I was at school. Like.
Yeah, so that.
I think, I mean, even in later life, I've started learning more since I've been about late 30s, doing courses, going to college, uni and stuff like that. And I think you've got more of an appetite for it, haven't you? Because when you're young, you think, I didn't need that. Like,
aye.
And you sit and listen, rather than just carrying on. Because I wasn't very good at school,
Aye. I was the same. I was quite bright. The subjects I liked, I was quite bright at, but I just worked myself quite a bit in front of see when your hormones kick in and you see pretty lasses and all that, and you want to try and but no, I think if I'd stuck in that school, I mean, I've got a good life now, I can't complain, but I don't know where I would have got to. But like with this job, Project Nova, I've just got the NVQ4 in information and guidance, which is part of the journey you're on. And it is good to go back and learn in later life. Like
it is, mate. I really enjoyed it. Like what I did a course. As soon as I finished, I started another one. So because I was used to the learning, and I didn't want to even have a week's break. I wanted to carry on, and just in case, after a week, I thought, I can't be asked to do that. Like when I was a kid, that's what would happen, But I mean, now with Fix, I'm too busy. But I mean, I do a lot of stuff for the uni and stuff like that. So I kind of believe, to be honest, that I've just been asked to be a senior lecturer at Sunderland Uni, and
brilliant.
I left school and out. I mean, I got some qualifications, but they must have been that shit. I can't even remember what they were. You know what I mean? So they haven't even stood out in my mind what they were. I definitely got a good one in religious study because I went to a Catholic school and my mum and dad were really religious. So that's all I can remember, to be quite honest. So how long did you stay in RAF?
I stayed in until 1993. Was I'm trying to think the name of it now. It was one of these defence reviews. And the Berlin Wall came down about 89, wasn't it?
89, I was there, right?
Once the Soviets sort of like packed it in and the fleet wasn't sailing anymore, we weren't going to Cuba and places like that. Our work sort of like dropped a lot. And we worked with GCHQ, who obviously civvies, and this defence review said that we would work more with civilians and we would work with joint service. And I took the huff. I was due to be promoted, and they said there was going to be no promotion, so I said, well, I'm gone. So I left. And,
so how many years of that you done?
14, wasn't it?
It's a long time, isn't it?
It is, aye.
How did you find your transition then?
I was lucky, very lucky, because I got married young as well, and my wife stayed with me. She went around the world with me, and when we came out, she stood by me with the kids and all that. I did probably have 6 months, but I didn't know. I nearly rejoined. I had like 6 months where I didn't really know what I was going to do. I was lost in a way. And I was just, again, I think life does, I believe in fate, life just like came along and opportunity to do something, and I was just in the right place at the right time. I got a job after about 6 months.
And then do you settle straight into it once you got a job? Were you settled? Because like the big thing of transition is missing your mates and that, isn't it?
Yeah, I've missed. I think what put it in context with me, I went back to, because where I finished my base camp was called Oriel Digby in Lincolnshire. It's a small, like, secretive communications unit, and I was like the captain of the rugby team. I was in the bar drinking and all that, and I went back about 2 months later and I went to the gate to sign in. I thought, oh, someone's about to know us, and be saying, oh, hi Jody, how are you doing? And obviously didn't know who I was. Well, obviously knew people, and once you left, haven't you?
This is it. And you don't think that nobody realizes that until you leave, because everyone thinks that it's special. You know, unfortunately, we're all special needs.
That's right. And I was like, and I think that sort of helped us in a way, because I thought, well, I was just a number. I've done my time. But I try and get back on to support my family, because my family were young. And I got some work with Northumbria Police in the Gateshead CID office, working there like as an office manager. So that was my first civilian job, really. So
if we did you stay there a long time?
I stayed there from 1993 to 2011. So it was like
good.
18 years or something.
And is that when you moved on to Project Nova?
No, I didn't go to Nova until 2015. I left 2011 because of the police cuts. I took early retirement because the first pay always gets the most money. And then I wanted to be a local councillor, and it enabled us to stand for election in 2012, which I won. And so since 2012, I've been a local councillor as well for North Tyne.
So for what party?
Labour Party.
All right. And how do you find politics then?
Frustrating. I mean, I've been lucky since 2013. I've been the Armed Forces champion for North Tyneside, and I've been able to give the council. The council didn't really. They were happy to do stuff for veterans. They just didn't know what direction that they go in. I think they were a bit lost. They've got all the procedures in place. And, there's we've got Laura Potter, who's a full-time armed force officer, who's a reservist as well. So everything now is set in place. 7 years on, we're in a really good place now to help coming out, and also a wider armed forces family.
Well, that's the key to it all, isn't it? Having somebody who's a veteran involved in it, that's without a doubt. I think you have a certain insight, don't you?
Yeah. No, when I left the police, it was a bit like leaving the military, really.
No one knew your name.
I was lost. I went for a job. I went 5 different call centres around the northeast, and I think I probably lasted about a week or 2 weeks. Just jacked them in. I thought, I'm not taking this, and got to put your hand up when you want to get out the toilet and that sort of thing. And then, so I didn't have, I was in a financial position where I didn't really particularly have to work. And then, but my wife was giving us a bit of grief. Then 2015, just been the right place, right time. This job appeared, and I thought, do I particularly want to go back to work with the police again and custody suites and that? So I took it. It was a 1-year rolling contract, so I thought I'd probably get a year of it, and that'd be the end of it. And 5 years on, still here and still going strong.
Do you want to explain to the? Obviously, I know what Project Nova is, but do you want to explain to the viewers what Project Nova does?
Yeah, Project Nova is an early intervention project for those who come into the police contact custody. So now, if you come into Northumbria Police, part of the booking in process, they'll ask you, have you served matches on? If you reply yes, and you ask for support, you'll eventually get me after being referred to my main office. We also look after vulnerable veterans, so it doesn't have to be somebody who's in the criminal justice system. It could be somebody who's just vulnerable, somebody who may be in the system, has been out for a while, just come out of prison or on probation. So we've got quite a big sort of remit of who we can take on. And I would never, if someone rang us and they wanted help, I would never say, oh, you don't fit my remit. I would still take you on as a referral, but then obviously pass you on to a different provider or a pathway. They say to them, oh, you're not my back sort of thing, so I'm not going to deal with you.
Well, that's the key to it, isn't it? I mean, we work together closely, and with Jim, and we've got like a really close network now, haven't we? All around the northeast of the smaller guy charities and kicks, and I think that works really well. Because if I get anybody from the north of Sunderland, I put them straight on the Jim, like.
All right. Well, I think it's brilliant. You know, I've known you for a few years before. Also, I've known Jim. And I think this is what gets me for the Northeast. I think we should give ourselves a bit of a pat on the back because we've got, from other regions, I think we've got the big providers, we'll just forget them for now, but Jim in the north of the Tyne, there's Nafi Break in the South Tyneside, there's a great work you're doing in Sunderland. I think that smaller charities who've got no sort of veteran first, we've got no egos or we're not going to keep this person or whatever, just working together, I think is probably the best system you could ever have.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what you just said there about, I want to keep this person, what I found at the charity I worked for before this, you were encouraged not to refer because what if they get funding instead of us?
Yeah.
And it's not about money, it's about the client and helping the client to whatever's best for them. You know, if you're good at your job and you're doing something good, money will come anyway. You know, so really just help the client, make them the centre of everything and pass them on to other people. I mean, we bring loads of people in, loads of different services, and that's because their specific professionalism in that one area that we mightn't be. So, and that's fine by me. I just want to help people.
Well, that's the same as me. My mantra is a bit like, sounds a bit cheesy, but it's like, the Good Samaritan. I would never walk past anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you help people, and sometimes, we've got to be fair and honest. Some people have got an addiction or whatever, and you help them, and sometimes the blood. But you kind of let that stop you because every time you help somebody, just on a life a little bit better, maybe a housing need or get a bit of help with mental health, or just build up the confidence. That you can't beat that. Like that, it's priceless, really.
It is, mate. It is, and I think you're not wanting to slag any charities off, but I think the bigger ones, they miss that kind of personal touch because they're so big. I would never want Vix to become nationwide. I don't want that. I'd rather it be kept in Sunderland. It may be the northeast, but I can't see how it would work. The bigger it got, we've got 300 no clients now. That's difficult enough. I think it would lose something if we moved further afield. Like,
yeah.
And there's other people in other areas that we can contact. So I can't see the point.
Right. Yeah, I think if you've got a network like we've got at the moment, it works really well because you know geographically where to go for somebody. And like you say, if you go too big, you lose your identity and soul as well. And I think that's probably better by being a kick than being a charity, because a charity trustees and you lose your direction of travel in a way.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when Nova was started, the bigger charities were a bit sniffy towards veterans who were in the criminal justice system, prison, or I'm not trying to judge somebody what the crime they've done. If they've come out of prison under the Rehabilitation Act, they've done the offence. So now I've got to try and get them on to the next step in life. And I think some of the charities were a bit sniffy about, do we particularly want to work with that type of veteran sort of thing?
I found that when I started Vix, I found that certain ones were, if people were taking drugs or if people were drinking, they weren't interested in that. But I think everyone should be treated exactly the same. Why you've got to think, why are they drinking or taking drugs? Some people do because they like it, but some of them could have happened through their no fault of their own because of their service. And you're not going to find that out until you've worked with them, are you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, it's a sad state of affairs when people can be turned down for help. I think, like.
Well, I think it's a sad state of affairs when people say, because you've got, I mean, the mental health system is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Where they say you can't have mental health treatment because it affects your alcohol.
Yeah.
Sort of neutralizes the mental health treatment, but how are you supposed to get better?
Yeah, well, I mean, how do you know it? Was it your mental health that made you drink, or is it the other way around? And how can you get better? Because if you've used alcohol, for instance, as a coping mechanism for years, and someone says stop doing that and we'll help you with your mental health, that's never going to work.
No, yeah, it's true, and I think like alcoholism and a lot of the guys who I work with smoke weed because they use it either for relaxation or a therapy sort of system, whatever they use it for, and it seems to help them. You know, if that what keeps them going from day to day, obviously I wouldn't say that legally you can smoke weed, but that's their personal choice.
Yeah. I'm with you on that, mate. I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean?
I mean, just to me, I never tell people they've got to stop drinking or taking drugs because it's everyone's choice, whatever they want to do. Yeah. All I try and just say, well, you know, people who are in full-time employment come home and they might have a joint or a glass of wine, but they don't drink all night and then drink when they get up in the morning because you won't go to work. You know, so if that's what you want to do, that's fine by me. But people have got to realise if they want to come here, the ERV, they can't come drunk or high. And if they've been up all night, then they're knackered for all the stuff we're going to do the next day, which means they'll hang around all day at home, then they'll not be tired on the night. So the next day is knackered as well. And it you know, if you keep a routine, it works much better for everyone.
Yeah, I think that is correct. I never tell anyone, like, I don't put my lifestyle on somebody else because my lifestyle is not perfect. So it's their choice, it's their pathway. All I can do is say, this is what's available. This is my experience with working with other veterans. Because, like you say, I mean, you can't be too judgmental because we're all just one or two decisions away from absolute disaster. Mm. Lose your job, maybe lose your house, or something happens in your personal life, your circumstances change, or you might you might start drinking just a couple of cans a night, and then before you know it, you're drinking 10 cans a day. And so everyone, you've got to be. I think everyone's especially when you speak to people, confidence. I think that's another thing with veterans as well. There's a lot of beaters to different charities. We'll see charities, the main ones, especially for help, and they sort of have to experience themselves time and time again, and they don't sort of like find out the full story about them, and then they'll maybe bin them off, and the trust is gone. So when a smaller charity like ourselves or yourselves or Jim come along and try and help them, sometimes it's a lot of mistrusting. It takes you a while to back up that confidence back up.
I think I think you're right. And it is. I mean, you really for any trauma that anyone's had, you shouldn't have to go on and on every time you meet somebody and tell the same story. Yeah. You know, you should tell it once, tell it twice at the most. But not every appointment, you know, and then what you find is they get pushed to somebody else, then they've missed an appointment, so it means they're on the back of the queue. And, you know, and that's, to me, like, I mean, I've been in a situation where people have been told that they're not taking enough drugs to get help. I mean, what's enough? You know what I mean? you could be having one line of cocaine, think, yeah, I like that, but I don't want to ever do it again. So you should be able to go to these services and they say, right, here's a coping mechanism not to have it.
Yeah.
I've actually sat in a room when somebody said, you're not taking enough drugs to get any help. And I was just, how does that even work? You know what I mean? It's just a crazy situation. But everyone's under pressure and everyone's trying to cut the numbers down. Where the likes of us, you're happy with the amount of numbers you get. You know, if I get 300 or 3,000, as long as I'm helping somebody, I'm not, you know, you've got to be working anyway, aren't you? So,
yeah, you've got to, you know, like I said, it's what you see. I mean, my job and your But the sort of outcomes I've had over the last 5 years with some people in the darkest of places, when you find them somewhere to live and they maybe get a job or get in contact with the partner said, oh, he's so you can have contact with his kids or help them get legal services. And you see it changing somebody, and then it's just, I think, well, I was a little part of that, but it is good. It's very satisfying.
Oh, it's brilliant. There's not many jobs where you go home on a night thinking, I've made a massive difference to somebody's life.
Yeah.
It's completely different from anything. And to be honest, it's quite addictive. It's quite addictive, because once you get that one first sort of victory, if you like, you want it again, don't you? So it is like an addiction to do, and I enjoy coming to work every day. I mean, all the time I've been doing this, I've never had a day where I thought, oh, I've got to go to work,
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many hours I work.
No, that's the same with Nova, really. We get sort of managed from a distance, but it's not like we let it do our own thing, and which is good. So you just do your hours. It's a 9 to 5 job. You don't turn your phone on at 5 o'clock. You keep your phone on. You go on annual leave, but sometimes unless you're going, obviously at the moment, if you're going abroad, you can't do much. But if you're at home, like today, I'm back tomorrow, but it's a day early, but I'm back. But it's not like impinging on your holidays, because it's just like, it's part of my life now.
No, that's it. It's a lifestyle, isn't it, now?
Yeah.
It is a lifestyle rather than a job. As people say, this what time do you finish work? Well, I didn't finish work. So, if I've got to do something late at night, I'll just do it. Like,
it's like a couple of weeks ago, I was, I think...
No, it's not if it's the busies, I know a bloke who can help you.
I think it's Amazon. No. Cheers, man. Okay. Money. Okay. It's Wallace's lamb. But a good way to explain Nova is a bit like last week or the week before. I had a call from a lad who I've been with for a lot of years, and he's a lot of issues going on in his life. But he rang us and said, about 5 o'clock one night, the police have been at my house and kicked the door in. He wasn't there. His fat mate told him, and they're looking for us. If they come to the house and I'd been there, I would have gone quietly, sort of thing. So, so I said, right, so where are you? So he told us where he was. Obviously, because of the contacts I've got, I rang the police and said, is this guy wanted? Firstly, they said, yes, we need to speak to him as a matter of urgency. I said, give us an hour, I'll bring him to the police station. And they said, yes, so I went and picked him up, took him to the police station. He didn't get cuffed or anything, he was arrested, obviously. Made sure it was a sister was being called, because it's a any veteran, really, if you get arrested, and sometimes they might say things like, they might say, our sister, might say, well, that's going to take a while. The service level agreement is that with the police, that a sister will be there 45 minutes, a duty sister. And obviously the sister went and saw him, but that whole situation could have been like a siege, or the guy could have been locked up for assault PC, totally diffused. And he went and spoke to them, and obviously dealt with the charges which were being laid before him, So that sort of thing brings the stress levels down, and hopefully help them through that situation,
If is there any links or anything that you want to put on the screen when we actually put this out next week? Obviously, or is it people who's just locked up and they get told when they're in there?
Yeah, I can send you. I can scan you like a leaflet thing I've got.
Right.
Across, because at the moment when they go to the police station, like I say, it's like depends on the custody sergeant, really, how much they want to put the referral in, or they just give them the leaflet when they leave. So they might just bin it. Some forces are now, Durham has just gone automatic referral. And I think Northumbria was due to go, but because of COVID now, I think it's been put back to 2021, 2022. So eventually it will be automatic. They won't have a chance to say yes, the details will go through. But I can't put I'll send you like a leaflet through.
Because I'll take some info and we'll get Joe from Parliament to put some stuff on.
Right, and I can send you, and I'll send me, and obviously you got me, I'll put your business card on Snap.
Yeah. Right, thank you very much for taking the time out when you're on leave, mate, for coming on.
It's all right, don't worry.
And enjoy Jim's thing this afternoon.
I will do.
Need cuddling anybody, mind, because of social distancing.
No, I've had that problem before. But I'm very with Sunderland. My granddad was from Waldridge Fell.
Right.
But he moved to the shipyards. He worked in the shipyards here at Swan Hunters, and all his life Sunderland supporter. So obviously he's dead now, poor bugger, but we had 73 round down afterwards.
I'll never let you forget it, mate. I'll be the one that keeps it in your mind.
And then I remember when he was when they went to the final against Leeds, went to Red Fusion and got a colour. He had got a colour. I rented a colour TV, you know. So the whole street was in there, like, and watching this. He was a poor red and white, lived in the heart of black and white land.
No, I say that it spreads, man. It spreads.
It does.
No, at the minute it doesn't, like, to be honest. Right, nice one. Nice speaking to you, mate.
All the best for the rest of the season, mate. I'll see you soon.
Same to you, mate. Thanks.